Okay, so hey everybody. I was getting ready to work on testing recipes and stuff, and I just remembered I haven't shown off the new and improved red matter. So I've been doing various tweaks to this to improve the overall user experience of the explosive type. Most of them have been small. A few of them have been trying to get the whirl a little bit better. I haven't done much with that. That's going to be a lot more work here to come. As you can tell, it's throwing blocks all over the place. Unfortunately, it's only throwing them on one side, so I think I gotta randomize the equations Calculavia designed way back. The rendering of the blocks is actually fixed now, so they actually work properly. It's laggy for the simple sake that I've got two Minecraft instances running. As I said, getting ready to test recipes. Mainly, I'm going to be doing cross-mod compatibility recipes pretty soon. I have fixed the entities flying into it. I had slowed them down in order to kind of actually fix this lagginess of the block swirling, and because of that, the entities were going to the bottom and they were not going up into the explosion. I actually am going to probably increase the velocity even more on the y-axis, and y-axis is up and down like this. X and Z is these ways. To be more specific, Z is north, and then X is east and west. Um, well, yeah, this is working out pretty good, so it'll nom the pigs. Right now it's set to, I believe, like 0.015, and I'm probably going to do 0.25 just for the Y. And that'll be only in addition velocity if it's going to be sucked up into the explosion. If it's being sucked down, I'm actually going to negate gravity slightly, so that way, no matter what direction you look from, it's always pulling in at the same exact speed. Right now, things coming in from the bottom are actually being pulled in slower, simply because Minecraft's gravity is overcoming the actual gravity of the red matter explosion. Which, in physics terminology, that would be correct, because you would have the gravity of the planet, which would be larger than the gravity of the red matter, at least when it comes to this direction. Of course, pulling in either direction is going to overcome it. Another thing I'd like to point out, these blocks actually will kill things that they hit if it's really hard to tell. But as you can tell, a couple of those have been hit by blocks. I have removed the explosions from the center. Now, how the original red matter worked is it would suck you towards the center, and then the red matter itself was not doing damage. It was actually generating a Minecraft detonation every couple ticks. Minecraft detonations are pretty laggy, especially with how large this one was making them. So that was causing performance impact. Now, it literally, when you get within the radius effect, it just does damage to you. It gives you the same exact effect, and I can play audio effects so people who are familiar with the older versions will notice no difference whatsoever. Um, but the thing I actually want to show off, and if people have paid attention to Twitter, is the red matters now merge together, and they get larger. We can actually see this going off. And of course, I don't have audio done yet, so that's the reason why you guys aren't hearing any audio. Plus, I've got the rest of the audio effects in game turned off. Um, it's great to avoid copyright violations on YouTube if you don't have any music from the game playing in the background. As you can see, that just got bigger. It moves too. I've been toying with the movement code. Theoretically, that shouldn't have moved, but because there was 3 of them going off at the same time, it dragged it. How it's actually supposed to work is if an explosion goes off, that's an ICBM type explosion, or it's even TNT, it actually will negate all velocity, set the explosion off, reset velocity, that way it doesn't move. Because after all, this is basically a black hole is what these are supposed to be. Well, as close as you can get to one without actually being a black hole. Because if this was an actual black hole, it would just keep expanding until there's no world left. Because that's kind of how black holes work in real life. These are red matter, which is based off of, I don't remember the name of the physics for it, but Calculav was explaining it to me one day. I wasn't really paying attention, but it's a type of super dense object, but it's temporary. But man, these keep getting bigger. I'm going to have to work on the raycast. If you notice, you can't see the light popping out anymore. At this point, it's getting too big. I'm also considering possibly scaling the red matter down, so when you initially detonate it, the red matter starts off really small, and as it consumes material from the world, it'll just grow in size. Because the ideal would be is that it grows in size. You would see it slowly increase until the red matter dies off, because with the settings that were implemented in 1.6, red matters actually do die. It was originally set to 3 minutes. I've actually updated it to 30 minutes now. They also have a max size limit. Their default size right now is, I believe, 5 with a kill radius of 6. Oh no, it's a kill radius of 5 and a render size of 6. And then their reach distance is 35 by default, and then that scales volumetrically, which means it's not a linear scale. How these work is they add their volumes together, and then there's some radius math, which it goes up. So if it's two of them added together, then you end up with, I think, like 40 or 50 radius. So these will get bigger and bigger. They also don't cause orphan chunk loading. It's a thing that's actually been implemented and fixed. It's actually more or less this was implemented in Voltage, so all Voltage mods kind of avoid orphan chunk loading as best as possible. I haven't fully fixed it, and for those who don't know what orphan chunk loading is, it's when you try to access a block that is not currently loaded in the world. So say like this was the edge bound of the world, and this went to go access over the edge here. It would actually force this side of the world to start loading, which is bad because as soon as Minecraft updates, it'll then try to deload this side of the world again, and then this would load it again and over and over and over again. That is now fixed. If it's outside of the world bounds, it just does not touch it whatsoever. Unfortunately, this will cause some display problems. They're not actually bugs, but what you would see is you would see like a sharp edge on the edge of a crater, and then that's where this explosion was running on the edge of the world. These also do save, so when you exit and close the world, or you chunk load and unchunk load, they save properly. Another thing I want to show off, since I've been working on things from the last progress update, I've actually been going down through a list of bugs that have been reported to me. If I pop open here, so here's the issue area. There's now been 27 closed. Most of these have been reported by Lim here. He's been doing a great job bug checking. I still need more people to come through and like just hammer away at these mods. Not just ICBM Classic, ICBM Original needs tested. I know there's a lot of issues in it. Assembly line, Basic Industries. Any mod we make, I need people to go through and just hammer away with them. If you report the bugs, I actually close them pretty quickly. Like you have Nunger here, who reported a bug this morning. I knocked it out within about a couple hours of him reporting it. But as soon as I got up, I took care of it. So if you guys report bugs, I do a pretty good job doing them. Here's the bugs I've got left. But one of the things I actually was requested to fix is that when the explosions go off, so let me get one that we can actually see here. How these work, or this is how Cal Clavia coded them, and he's pretty ingenious for the way he did this. Actually, let me kill that so it doesn't affect this. Yeah, this was pretty ingenious the way he did this, because it actually makes it work really well. Is these go off, and let me get collision boxes here. They'll generate an explosive entity. This is how TNT does it right now. But when they go off, the entity would stay there, or rather a different entity class would appear, and it would stay here, and as you can tell, there's nothing here. How I've modified these is at the very bottom of the world, the entity will go to the bottom, but keep the blast location here, so it sets off and you see the cloud. And the reason for this is that people were complaining they could not place blocks around here, and if they wanted to chain trigger these, like say set off tons of them, they can't, because you could not place the block over top of the entity. But now you can do that. That's something that's been rectified or fixed or resolved, or however you want to call it. A few other things that have been worked on. Launchers were fixed. They were actually having some difficulties. Launchers are automated, or automatable. This was a feature that was in the original version. At least I was sure it was in the original. No one's really kept track of when features were added to these, because of course we've never had a wiki for the mod that was official. There was a whole bunch of unofficial wikis and stuff like that. But these multi-blocks on the side now can accept energy. Energy is not relayed to this yet. This will be something I'll be working on later today. But the inventory is what I want to show off. These will now work with just about any inventory thing, although I had to fix a few bugs with the prefabs for the inventories, but it's functional. I'm still pretty sure this was a feature in the old one, but that's not important. So let's grab a couple of these missiles. As you can tell, it put one in there. If I take it out, it'll put another one in there. and I can just keep taking these out until it runs out of missiles. And there we go. Put them all back in. This means these are now automatable, so that means you could continuously reload your missile launchers and continuously keep firing. Great for the remote detonation system, which, by the way, for those who can't find information on them, only the tier 3 launchers allow remote detonation. Also, this is a rendering glitch with that turn sideways. I'll be fixing that here shortly. Multi-blocks are now breakable. If you break them, they disappear. Works on all the multi-blocks. That was a really simple bug that was only broken in certain orientations. It's been corrected. So what else have I been working on? Concrete recipes now uses still. I'm working on the EMP recipes right now. As you can tell, they're using repeaters. These should be batteries. This is the reason why I was saying I'm getting ready to test recipes. I'm going through all the recipes and I'm correcting like really dumb problems, like these should be battery boxes right here, instead they're blocks of gold. Luckily there's a backup system for when recipes are missing components, so you have a substitution. What else? That's pretty much it. I'll get another one of these progress videos out here pretty soon. The mod is almost completely done. I'm going to just go ahead and release a playable version today because I haven't found any more major issues. I'm going to mark it as beta with the recommendation that it not be included in mod packs just yet. As soon as I get it to the point of release, then you guys can have fun with mod packs and do whatever. But that's it. I'll get more of these videos out and I'll see you guys later.